Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our new edition of our regional training from KW Malaysia. Today is our first series of what we call Winning Mondays. We have moved on from Power Mondays to Winning Mondays because our goal in this second half of this year is to win the markets, right? So a quick one. As we are entering the month of August, this is the second day of August. Please put down in the chat box, what is that one thing that you're looking forward for in this month of August? Share us one thing, put in the chat box. What is that one thing that you're looking for, one thing positive that you're looking forward for in the month of August? Please put it in the chat box right now. Going all out, taking market share, viewings. I can view, what else? Come on, put it in the chat box. What is that one thing that you can expect or you are hoping to see in the month of August? Change. What else? Come on, guys. Keep that going. Close more deals. Results. COVID cases going down. Great. Moving forward and staying well. Awesome. Achieve our goals. COVID cases reducing. Awesome. Right. So today, our key topic is really how to achieve self-empowerment. And we are so blessed and honored today that we have managed to secure and invited Dr. Azzy. Now, that's not her full name. But she likes to be known as Dr. Azzy. Is Dr. Azzy there? Can someone pin post her on the chat on the screen, please? Dr. Azzy, are you there? Good morning, Dr. Azzy.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jonathan.
Right. Dr. Azzy, could you just, for the benefit of some of our audience who have not came to your session a few weeks ago in our White Flag Initiative, Mental Health Talks, can you just kind of share a little bit about yourself and share what you do and what you have been doing so far? Go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you, Jonathan. Okay, hi, good morning, everybody. Assalamualaikum. I am Azmawaty Mohamad. No, that's my full name. But like Jonathan said, people have been calling me sometimes wrongly. Instead of Azmawaty, they sometimes call me Azmaty. So I'm like, okay, why don't you just call me Azzy instead? Azmaty doesn't sound good or nice. So anyway, okay, that's just a joke. Anyway, so I am Azzy. I have actually graduated formally from Australia, RMIT, and I did property management and investment. So worked with Chesterton for a while, if you've heard of that small little company. And I wanted to join JLW, but at that point of time, we had the market crash in 1996. So I'm sure you know roughly what my age is now. And then I worked in the unit trust and insurance. I did marketing. I still did marketing, like selling properties. I did that. And what keeps me going is when I realized I need to understand people. In order to sell, I need to understand people's behavior. So I was really intrigued in finding out why people behave this certain ways, you know. So then I pursue my degree, master's in counseling, and thereafter it's all history lah. When I was actually asked to join the University of Malaya to actually pursue PhD there. So yeah, I'm now working in University of Malaya as one of the lecturer in the Department of Educational Psychology and Counseling. So yeah, that's all about me, Jonathan.
Right. I managed to see you on RTM over the weekend. You were being interviewed. You do a lot of all this kind of conversation, and you go around the country being involved in the area of mental health. So thank you for doing that and serving the country that way. Can I ask you a quick question based on your assessment, based on what you are seeing right now, people are going through, what you are experiencing in your with your clients, your students, and the people that you see in the other organization when it comes to the current temperature of people's mindset? What do you see, and what is your observation?
Okay, I have actually been working closely with a lot of people from different kind of background, people from all walks of life, from children up to adults, up to the orang kata apa tu, warga emas, ya. So I can see that this COVID-19 has created havoc. We all know that, yeah, throughout the world, even in the country. So every day we'll be waiting for the statistics on TV, like what's next. And these have actually been taking a toll on all of us. So I would say that if you ask me whether I am affected myself, so when actually Jonathan asked that question, I didn't type it out on the chat, but I was actually writing in the book, I wanted to achieve peace within, okay, because I know that most of us are actually greatly affected. And the mental health mental health of the people significantly affected. We have been receiving lots of calls on Talian Kasih. I'm one of the counselors also attached to Talian Kasih. Talian Kasih is actually a telehealth that is actually being arranged by the Kementerian Wanita and also our board of counselors. So they are all counselors, registered counselors there. To hear that people call just to talk about how stressed they are is actually very worrying. And abuse cases, and what is more worrying when we have disorder amongst the children too, not just adults, amongst the children, and now suicide cases are on the rise. So basically, when you ask me what's happening, it's really something that we have to look into, understanding your psychological makeup, understanding what, how it is actually affecting yourself. So this is very important. Yeah, so we have all seen the consequences, Jonathan, on the economy, the employment rates, and especially the emotional well-being. So when we talk about experience of happiness, high life satisfaction, good mental health. So I think the ability to manage stress is what we have actually been going around. And in fact, like what Jonathan mentioned last 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, Saturday. So I was talking on kesejahteraan diri, the psychological makeup. So was actually guiding them like how to go about managing self. Yeah.
Right. And today we're going to talk about self-empowerment. Self-empowerment is a very important thing for us to talk about. Tell us a little bit what you define self-empowerment as.
Yeah, okay. But before I go there, yeah, Jonathan, I would like to actually just explain a little bit on what SAD is all about. SAD stands for stress, anxiety, and depression. So I think when I mentioned earlier, when I talk about well-being, when I talk about your experience of happiness, when I also discuss about satisfaction, the quality of life, it depends on that personal or the individual themselves, yeah. And mood changes, mood sway. So this is the thing that we are actually very concerned now, because at one point you can actually be calm and the next point you can just shout or scream at someone. So this is actually very worrying, and we can see that this emotional distress was observed to definitely spike. Yeah, they have actually spiked during the lockdowns. And now we're not sure what's happening, and we've seen what's happening in our parliament. So that's also worrying. So people need somebody that can lead the country. So that's really affecting all of us, not just the COVID-19, but what's happening in the country. So I'm sure you also read about the rally that has been happening. And now we are also upset with them because you are actually making it worse. So, but we also understand the purpose that they're doing that. So when we talk about Jonathan, I'm not sure if you're actually working from home. Like myself, I'm working from home, and many of us actually working from home. So we are actually experiencing our self-quarantine. Yeah. So when we talk about self-quarantine, so this will definitely affect you, affect your mental health. So now your question is, what is self-empowerment? So basically self-empowerment, when we are actually talking about you, me, and all the people, the listeners out there, how to manage our own emotions, making positive decisions. For those who have actually listened to me before, I've actually shared that it is normal for all of us to experience negative emotions. We do not need to stay positive all the time. So most importantly, what we need to do is to identify what are the sources of stress. Ni yang saya cakap tadi tu, SAD, yeah, and actively seek ways to heal, ways to help us to relax and feel better, yeah, Jonathan. So at times, I think maybe we are like, lacking this, when we always said that instead of focusing on how we can actually get out of that emotions, we basically focus on that negative emotions, yeah. So we focus on the things that how to improve, we focus on the things that how to change, but we forgot that we need to validate our feelings. So basically coming back to that self-empowerment, I always talk to my students and also my clients when we talk about you yourself, you are actually the Power Rangers. I'm sure you have seen Power Rangers. Power Rangers, we have the Blue Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Green Ranger. So when we feel that we have no control over our life and we are actually overwhelmed, yeah, by the demands of work, demands of life, it is a sign that we're actually experiencing powerlessness. So it can be very frustrating, and this can actually lead to mental health issues. So in the midst of the challenges that we face, what we need to do is to make choices in life. You have that power to make choices in life that could actually gives you back the control. So you need to understand that the concept is the essence of self-empowerment. So when I talk about what is self-empowerment, and remember earlier I said that I want to have peace within. So how do I actually empower myself? So basically personal empowerment. So when we talk about self, so it is actually also personal empowerment. It's about taking control of your own life and make positive decisions based on what you want. So I like it when Jonathan starts off with, this is the month of August. Tell me, what is it that you wanted to achieve? So that's wonderful because you have that decisions, you have that goal that you're actually looking for. So this is basically closely linked to the attributes, attributes like self-esteem. So self-empowerment is the bigger umbrella. So when we talk about self-esteem, self-confidence, when you believe, so remember that song by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston? When you believe, so sing that song, okay? So, but the true empowerment comes from when you convert, what you call that intention into action. So basically self-empowerment means giving yourself the chance to be successful. So, but it does not mean that we have to do it alone. Okay, we need support. Like what you guys are actually doing, this is good. And I like it that when you said you changed from Power Monday to Winning Monday. So that's wonderful because you have the idea on, you have the target that you set. So basically when you talk about empowerment, one thing about me, once I start talking, I sometimes forget how to stop. But anyway, I'm just going to continue. Yeah?
Okay, you're empowered right now. You're empowered right now. So go ahead.
I'm empowered, yeah. So I'm the pink rangers that wear skirt. So the word empowerment, as we all know, the root word, or we call it kata dasar, is power. So just like I said, Power Rangers earlier, we have the choice to choose. So the 4 things that you need to remember when we talk about power, this is also the thing that I have shared in my talk previously. If you have listened to it, it's on YouTube. So the first thing is power over. Power over is how power is most commonly understood. When people, this type of power is actually referring to the built on force, on coercion, on domination. So we always talk about how our bosses have power over us. So basically, we are all motivated largely through fear. However, what we are trying to do here, when you understand that power over, it simply means the force which enables you, me, and all the listeners out there, yeah, Jonathan, to actually make decisions affecting not only you, but others on how to make life better. So this is ultimately what I mean by power over. So the next one, there's 4, right? Power with. Power with is when this is actually the shared power that grows out of collaboration, like what you are doing, collaborate, relationships, when you want to secure the deal. I've seen Jenny, kalau tak silap saya, and also Jonathan Low and a few others that have been securing over the phone. So you need to collaborate, you can't work alone. So basically, this is actually built on respect, mutual support, shared power, that solidarity that you have together, the influence, like I said, shared values lah, rather than domination and control. So this kind of power will actually lead to collective action and the ability to act together. So another 2 to go. So power 2. So what is power 2? Power 2 refers to the productive or generative potential of power and the possibilities or actions that you can actually create using that relationships that you have, using that relationship of domination that you have, to create that unique potential of everyone. So I think I like it when Redfield has been, it's not just Power Mondays, but you change because you identify with the unique potential of every person to shape their unique or their, how to say, their outlook towards life and the world. So this is the power to make the difference, to create something new. Because we are all in this COVID-19 pandemic. We have to live with this. Okay, the last one, ialah when I talk about power within. We are all knowledgeable in a way. So power within is basically related to your sense of worth, okay? Sense of worth, self-knowledge. So we need to equip ourselves with what's going on in the property market. How can we actually collaborate to create that boom? Okay, that includes and also an ability to recognize your differences while respecting your other colleagues. So power within actually involves people having a sense of what I say ialah their own capacity and self-worth. So it allows people to recognize the power to, okay, not to actually have that power to do not take over people's life, but to assist, power with, okay, and believe that all of you can actually make a difference. So that's basically what self-empowerment is all about. So I hope you're clear. Thank you,
Right,
Johnny.
very clear. How do people lose power? How do people lose power?
Okay, how do people lose power? It's actually very interesting, yeah, because in working with self, okay, working with your family, working with your colleagues and the communities, what we want basically is to nurture power with, power to, and power within. Okay, kalau boleh, we don't want to be, like power over. When you have that power over someone, but you want to assist. So your aim is to basically should not to maximize your power over other people, but rather to create the conditions whereby power can be shared. So your question is, how can people lose that power? Yeah. Well, basically, Jonathan, let me ask you this question. So when you tend to lose yourself, so what happened?
Lose control, confused, uncertain, unsure, fear.
But what is the root cause?
Possible fear of the unknown, fear of pain.
Okay, I like the word fear because I always say the word fear comes from false evidence as reality. Okay, false evidence as reality. So when we talk about fear, everybody is, we all have that false evidence as reality. What do I mean by that? So when we actually we worry so much, okay, we worry so much. And when we actually overthinking lah, so I can say that we started to have this overthinking, overwhelming kind of feelings. But what we tend to forget is that at the end of the day, once you get over it, then you realize, it's not that bad. Okay, it is not that bad at all. So all this worry that you have actually have actually released this toxin inside your body, and you'll be very tired. So as a society, okay, but before that, I want to say that it is us, it is you, it is me. Why do we lose? When do we lose it? It's because of us, okay? Because it is you, me. Why? Because we forgot that we don't talk much about our own emotions. We always care about others. So this is when self-empowerment, we also talk about self-care. So basically conversations, yeah, tend to focus more on what we are doing instead of what we, or what we're thinking. Okay, what we are doing through the behavior and what we're thinking. But before that, I think I have explained before what psychological makeup is. I would like to just repeat that again today. Psychological makeup is basically makeup of the ABC. What it is actually very important because once you have that C, the cognitive, your thought or thinking patterns, then you will actually release that or relate that to your feelings. A is actually affective, A-F-F-E-C-T-I-V-E. Well, I'm sure you know how to spell it. Sometimes I get carried away, like talking to my students. I'm so sorry about that. So that's affective, your feelings. And that if this is okay here, once you are feeling okay here, so that will then be translated into a very good behavior. But simply, like I said, we always talk about how to do things, what people think of us, but we forgot to talk about how we feel, okay? And as a society, like I said, it's easier for us to start sentences with I think instead of I feel, simply because it feels probably less awkward. Jonathan, we're actually living in Malaysia. We are compared to people in the US, they are all very much individualistic. but we are living in a very community. So whatever we do, we're always very concerned what people think of us. So most of us are actually never been educated about our own feelings. So, so we lost it because we do not actually do self-care. So instead of learning socially acceptable ways to deal with feelings by watching the people around us, so what we do is we will actually, we missed out on the important emotional concept. Okay, so what it is. So basically, we are actually, like I said, certainly cultural differences when it comes to emotions, social norms differ from what is considered acceptable in terms of talking. Sometimes, I remember, if I can share with you, yeah, I felt hopeless when I have been trying to get my father vaccinated. All in the family has been vaccinated besides my own father. So here I am, a counselor, but I fail to do it, to talk to my own father, but I don't think so that as a failure. I don't take that as a failure. I will never give up, but I will have to respect. So you see, whatever I say, it will always, he will always think that I'm being disrespectful. Well, not in that context so much, but I will feel that, am I being disrespectful? Am I being rude to my own dad? But I'm actually worried about him. So in fact, so most languages that we use for certain emotions actually do not have equivalent translation. What I'm trying to say is, whatever I say, it might be misconstrued. Ini yang kita takut sangat. So the thing is, like I said, when you tend to, because it is really up to us. We have the choice. Look at what you want in life. You have that quality world. So what is it that you want in life? So me, I remember when I was younger, we all get confused. But as we mature, I don't want to say as we age, but as we mature, we tend to understand what is the purpose in life. But things happen in life. So the questions that we will always ask is, you know, basically you can't actually control how you feel. So that's what you always think. Well, you can. Your emotions, although it is wrong, although you think that you're actually particularly stuck in that particular mood, if you want to change how you feel, you choose how to change the way you think and behave. So you see the relationship, your psychological makeup. So like I said this morning, I was telling Yoon King, because Yoon, if I pronounce your name correctly, yeah, my dear. So what happened was, she was quite concerned because I was actually having my jab yesterday. I had my jab yesterday, and she asked me, Doctor, kalau demam macam mana? I said, don't worry. So it's all in the mind. So what I do is, I cannot be sick. I didn't say cannot. Okay, I'm going to be okay. Instead of using that, I cannot be sick, I changed that. I will be okay. I have a meeting with my students 8:30 to 8:45. After that, I'm going to join refill. I'm going to be okay. So like what I shared with all of you this morning, I was okay. It's just a pain here lah, where the place where they jab, but otherwise I'm okay. No fever, no nothing. Alhamdulillah. So venting will make you feel better. A widely held misconception is that if you're not talking to everyone about your feelings, you must be suppressing that emotion, so or stuffing your feelings. But actually, research have shows that the opposite is quite true, at least when it comes to anger. So what we do, usually will, you know, punching a pillow or calling everyone, you know, to tell them how bad your day was will only increase your arousal and won't make you feel better. So what is it that you need to do? Okay, control. So I just want to share with you this that I've actually read. I was made to understand because we can actually trick our brain. That is very interesting when I found that article. So we can actually trick our brain, yeah? So if you feel that you can't do it, so you will be left with these thoughts that you can't do it. So how do we change that? So, you know, when you kept saying that I feel bad, I'm not good, I am not going to secure the deal, I will lose the deal. I'm not saying that you are actually going to be that way, but you can actually trick your brain, validate your feelings. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to go and punch a pillow, not someone in the face though. So it's okay to do all that, but you have to remember you can actually train yourself that your brain can only take up to that negative emotions up to 20 minutes. And after that, it is up to you. So what I did was before lah, when I was younger, I remember kalau marah tu berhari-hari, days. But now I can do it within 12 minutes. So what I do is I usually go to my friend. Her name is Dr. Shanina. I will just knock on the door. I'll just say, okay, Nina, this is what happened to me. I blurt it out. And then sharp 12 minutes, I'll just get up and say, bye, thank you, I feel better. And she's always confused, but now she understands. Because you know why? Once you blurt it out, you just want to externalize that feelings. You validate your feelings. You're angry, you're upset. Then don't forget to stop, think about what you can do better, and then get out of there. So what I did was, okay, bye. So she's always very surprised. Aziz, what happened? So because after 20 minutes, you are the one who actually have that self-defeating behavior. Okay, you created that. So yeah, Jonathan.
Right. Thank you. So what are some of the ways that or practical approaches that we can find our way to self-empower ourselves, especially in this season where everything is doom and gloom? There's just so much to be complaining today. I mean, there's so much valid reasons to complain today. There's so much negativity out there. I mean, for us in our business, we are not able to see the light. When can we go out and do business, right? So many things to complain about. What are the tips that we can give us in order, or techniques that we can, or practical ways for us to really develop these self-empowerment skills that you just mentioned just now?
Okay, tips. Like I said, if you understand what it is all about, then you can actually have self-control. So self-empowerment is making decisions on how best you could actually train yourself to do better. Okay, so probably I can just share with you, some of the tips that we could actually use. Here are some of the tips here. First is to understand yourself. That's why I said when Jonathan asked the question earlier, how do people tend to lose it? It's because of you. Okay, you are not empowered to make that decision. So what you need to do is the need to have self-awareness to help you understand why do you feel the lack of power, and how do you take charge of your emotions and your actions. So basically what you need to do is to validate your feelings and then think of your thought patterns. You need to challenge it, okay? Remember, I think I have shared this before, when you need to get rid of the engineer, because we tend to have this irrational belief system. So you need to get rid of the IR. What is this IR? Engineer, kan? Engineer. Get rid of that IR in your thinking patterns or cognitive, so that you could actually have more rational thoughts. Okay, instead of negative automated thoughts. When you see someone, when you see that, okay, today is 17,000, habis lah, the world is going to reach a doomsday already, that's it. So negative. Yes, we have 17,000, and yes, we have that rally, and yes, we have that parliament thingy, so what's going to happen? We worry. But what are our options? What are we going to do about it? So you need to consider yourself as the locus of control. Okay, you need to believe that you have the power to control your own lives, and the outcome is the outcome. So the question is, Jonathan, is the outcome determined by external forces? So in this kind of current situation, siapa yang nak beli rumah, siapa yang nak jual rumah? Maybe that kind of thoughts, you might have that in the beginning. But when I saw that some of you are actually doing quite well, millions, 500,000, that's wonderful. Okay, so that's really wonderful. So your focus is actually to enhance your strength and dealing with your limitations at this current time. You identify what are your limitations, and you've been having this Power Mondays, and now the first time you're having Winning Mondays. So it's good that you are all aware that we are going to be with this COVID-19, living with this COVID-19. I don't know up to how long, but we need to just focus on what we can do better. So that's the first one. Okay. Second, we have to set goals. So that was the question that you asked earlier. So what is your goal? What is it that you're expecting? So you need to set goals which are aligned. And I think when we talk about goals, we all know that it has to be SMART. Well, of course, in psychology, we have different kind of goals. Saya lagi detail, but I'm not going to go there. Let's focus on S, specific. So tadi Jonathan asked you the question, what do you want to achieve this August? August je. Not even September yet. July is nothing but history. Okay, but August. So measurable. So it has to be measurable. Probably, I don't know lah how the market is right now. Yeah, I've been living this property market for so long already. So, but if someone can actually secure 200,000, 300,000 at least, so probably there's a way that is probably more measurable compared to you said, I'm going to secure 2 million, for example, you know, so that you do not have such high expectation, but the more you get, alhamdulillah, that's wonderful. Say A, attainable. I think that's also the attainable target. Okay, so realistic target and timeliness. So that's why you go month by month. So by creating your action list, so you are actually empowering yourself without realizing to take actions. So what are you doing? You're actually exhibiting growth of your mindset, Jonathan, and actively also trying to develop your own skills. So now, what else? So it is also I think it's also very important to surround yourself with positive people, with good attitude. Sometimes when, you know, like myself, and I actually have to counsel a lot of patients ataupun clients, and most of them who are actually experiencing disorder, memang I can say that they're most of the time negative. So what we do is we need to have debriefing. So what is debriefing? Debriefing is basically when we talk to our colleagues, we actually have our own circles, inner circles, to just let go, because we worry that it will actually affect us. So that's why we are trained to do bracketing. Sama juga with all of you. So you need to surround yourself with positive people. Sometimes, at times, these positive people, when I talk about positive people, I'm not talking about positive things all the time. Again, acknowledging the negative experiences that you have, but okay, how can you actually do better? Okay, these are the challenges, let's work on it. What's the next step? Okay, so that's what we do also with our students when they do not have internet lah, computer lah. So what are we going to do to assist? So these are the things that we focus on. The next one that you could probably do ialah macam saya kata tadi is self-care. Because if you want to, okay, I always tell this to myself. I remember when I was doing insurance, I have this, you know, my leader, he always tell me this, Azzi, if it is to be, it is up to me. Okay? So you do not forget to do self-care. So that is how you maintain a healthy mind. Self-care can be anything that you enjoy. Okay, for example, earlier before I even start, I was so worried that I might be sick, but because I wasn't worried, so I take that back. I wasn't worried, but I was just concerned. Okay, that's the word. Concerned if I may fall sick, because I saw that all my children fall sick, the second dose, kan? So I started cooking, although it's very light, just sandwiches, and then I make palak paneer. If you know what palak paneer is, I'm sure you do. So it's the veggie kan, bayam, made of bayam and cheese. So I enjoy that. Okay, but I don't enjoy cleaning. So I told my husband, can you help me, please? Okay, anyway, so it can include everything from having a good diet, exercising, to treating yourself to a spa treatment, which is not logical now, but unless you have it at home, good. But for me, I don't have it. So what do? Ambil lah basin yang tu, letak air panas, letaklah for my face. So that's what I do. Become creative. That's what we can actually do. So moving on to why, if we can actually ask yourself, why is self-empowerment important sebenarnya? Because it helps us to cope. It helps us to be okay. Like I said, when the onset of MCO 1.0, Jonathan, if you have seen me before, you may question, kenapa counselor ni pun nervous? Kenapa anxious, anxiety? Because at that point of time, I don't know what COVID-19 is. I don't know how it interacts, how it infects people. So I was very kiasu at that point of time, where I told my husband, no night flight, I will go and fetch you in Johor. So from Nilai, go to Johor. No, sorry. From Nilai, I go to Utam, Melaka to fetch my son. And then I called my other son in Dengkil, Asasi. So I told him, you go and buy stuff semua. So mommy go and fetch everybody. So but once I understand that power within, the knowledge that you have, so you know that you go out, that you need to put on, that when you go out, you need to put on your mask. So that's all actually being pushed by my anxiety, and it keeps me alive. That anxiety in you keeps you alive. But if you do not control, itu yang kita risau, that hormone cortisol tu will come out, terkedek-kedek, and then block your jantung lah, block your knee lah, and then that's it. So what you need to do is to learn how to respect self. Okay, so first, like I said, for better health. Okay, second one is for you to not be that vulnerable to anxiety, depression, and of course other serious mental and emotional issues. Why? Because now I think from the first talk that we had, we talked about adjustment issues. If you do not know how to adjust, what we worry is you might be actually experiencing that. And again, how can we make things better? Okay, Jonathan?
Right. But I want to follow up with this question because, you know, the July came, we had the EMCO, then now we've got this crisis on a constitutional level, you know, so many things going on. And, you know, the thought of giving up, the thought of like, I think I just cannot, let's throw the white flag, let's just not do anything, and because nothing is working, because things are just not changing. How do you respond to that? How do we respond and get ourselves up again? Because it's really, really not easy in this pressure cooker that we see right now. And I think a lot of us has been trying to adjust for the past 18 months, coming into 24 months. What are some of the things that you can help us to relook? And I know setting goals all there are great, but
yeah,
what are some of the things that you can help us to kind of reprogram our thoughts, especially in this tight season right now, right? We are in the critical season in the country. Everyone is very anxious. Everybody is watching Malaysia Kini, watching the news, and we get sometimes distracted with so many things, and at the same time we can't function the things that we should be functioning in order for us to build a successful business or having a very fulfilling life. What are some of your thoughts on that?
Okay, I like it when you talk about functioning. Okay,
Yeah.
So what we are doing now is we are still functioning. So in counseling and even psychology, what we're looking at to help people to function in their daily lives. It is normal for all of you to be upset, to have that kind of feelings. Personally, if you ask me, I'm actually very anxious. Like this morning, I've been talking to my dad nonstop until the last message I told him is, I think I'll just back off for a while because I don't want you to think that I'm being rude. This is just a discussion here, just being rude. But I think I just want you to be aware, to be empowered, okay? Because the news that we're actually listening, sometimes like you said, Malaysia Kini, Malaysia Kini lah, banyak news from different sources, and this makes us very confused. So with all this political thingy that's happening, they're supposed to have that thing in parliament, but they cancelled it, and hearing about COVID-19, and then nanti kita will turn out into zombies in 2 years time, 3 years time. Have you heard of that? So that's what my father have been sharing with us. So, but I'm fortunate that at least my brothers listen, and they are not, they have been vaccinated. So I'm glad. So a lot of other things like white flags initiatives, if we don't do it, so we are actually going to be more, we may actually experience mental health issues because we're stressed out, but we do have no other ways to channel out. And if we actually do the white flag thingy, people would think that we malas. A lot of things is actually happening. Okay. So these are the things that I said when you talk about the empowerment itself, right? It is a term by itself, Jonathan, that evokes emotion. Okay, we can, like I said to my dad, Ayah, I am not a superwoman. Because my dad believes this lah. You letak sini then the magnet. So I just got a jab yesterday, right? So I showed him, Ayah, I put spoon here. There's nothing, Ayah. I'm not a superwoman. I'm sorry. So I'm not even a superman. So because it's not, you know, it doesn't need. I just want him to be aware in a very funny way, okay, in my own way of doing things. So it's a term that evokes emotions. When I talk about this, I felt like, alamak, how do I go about doing it? It's not as easy as it is. It's not just about saying it. It's about action. We can have a positive mind. We can have a positive, apa orang kata tu, fielding. We are all gung-ho to do it. But if we don't do it, then you can't. So what I told my dad is, Ayah, the only way for you to find out, go get a jab. Once you go get a job, then you know whether that is magnet or not. For example, okay, so it is actually, when we talk about empowerment, it is not achieved in vacuum, but a relationship to others. So what I'm trying to say here is, it is not about strength or lack of knowledge also. Empowerment is not inborn, it can be nurtured though. So what I'm trying to say to you is, please rouse yourself from that feeling that you can't do it. Yes, we are all dealing with a lot of things in life, okay? But we are not alone. Okay, we are not in this alone. Okay, empowerment is attained, remember what I said earlier, via or within relationships. Okay, we need to make sure that we need to be, we need to interact with others. Okay, kalau lah you ask me, Dr. Aziz, it's easy lah for you to say you dapat gaji every month. Unlike us, in a way, I'm actually, I can say that I'm fortunate in that way, but we do contribute to. Okay, probably, yelah, kalau kerja kerajaan, we can contribute so much, but what do I contribute in terms of knowledge I share? Okay, I'm not being defensive here, I'm just sharing. So basically, we are all now in this together. Like what the girl was saying when she was caught because of the rally, she was actually the mastermind behind it. And she said, we need to empower ourselves. I'm not condoning to her behavior, yeah, but I like it when she said, we need to empower ourselves and make the choices responsible to ourselves. Imagine if you just give up. Jonathan, imagine Jonathan, the CEO of this company, for example, Jonathan gave up. So what will happen to your agents?
I think I will be a bad role model. And I think it will be a ripple effect where other people will see that, oh, if he gives up, I don't think I can do it also. So I think it will be a ripple effect and people will be affected.
Exactly. And you also talk about functioning. So what we are actually doing now is we are not just focusing about physical or emotional strength. So it's about knowledge. So that is also very powerful. It requires knowledge. So we need to even see a mirror to tengok, reflect diri kita. So that's what I do. So so we need to be very honest. What can we do? Like what Jonathan just shared, there will be a ripple effect. So I always, sometimes my students ask me this question, my clients ask me this question, Dr. Aziz, you've been giving so many talks, and I know I'm actually a baby tour, Jonathan. Why do I say that? Because I need to sleep early. I get up at 4 o'clock every day, 4 o'clock in the morning. I sleep very early, 9:30, but sometimes when I give talk, it's up to 11 o'clock. So my body is tired, and sometimes now I have to prepare notes for my students to help them more, because they, without face-to-face is different. So what I'm trying to say here is basically we need to be aware that if I give up, what will happen to my family? My family are my students, my family are my client. What will happen to them? Okay, so true empowerment is basically, that choice that you want to make, okay, that personal thingy that you want to make. If you talk to me about EMCO and then that constitution, that white flag, so again, we are all in this together. So we need to, like, hey, don't give up, come, let's do this together. Not to say don't give up, like, come, I know you are facing this stress, whatever, come, let's do this together. Let me hold your hands, let me guide you, let's do this together, okay? So basically, we need to have an objective, we need to choose what is it that you want to do. Okay, if I can actually talk about spiritual sikit je. We all believe, whether Christian ke, Islam ke, apa punya religion pun, the same thing, that we are all the chosen ones, because God believed that when we are tested, because we are strong, we can handle it. At that point of time, probably we don't realize. So they have been saying that, okay, the grass is greener on the other side, but they don't see that, because they are now in that storm. When you say that, Aziz, it's easy for you to say, we are all in the same boat, but you naik kapal, kita naik sampan. My boat will rock more than you. Yes, I understand that. Your boat will rock more than mine, because I'm actually in a Titanic, but don't forget Titanic sank too. So what I'm trying to say is, what is your goal? Okay, what is it that you want? Okay, so it's actually something that we need to really tread very carefully. Yeah? So again, I would like to say relationship with others, the knowledge that you need to have about the market, that what you are doing, okay? So how to tread this, your client, kita selalu buat apa, Jonathan? I can say cold calling, right? Maybe when I was younger, when I do that, I do cold calling, I call. So over WhatsApp, over the phone. So yeah, I hope it helps in a way.
Yeah, I like it that you talk a lot about choices, because when someone say I have a choice to make, that person is really declaring that he has the power to make that choice. It is when someone say that I have no choice, that becomes a disempowerment. I feel that it becomes a disempowering approach when I say I have got no choice. But actually, there are many choices around. How it's very common for people to say, oh, we got no choice right now, we can't do this right now, we cannot move on, no, MCO is closed, we cannot get out of our house, there's no choice, we can't do anything. How would you speak to that kind of mental thoughts where I have no choice, to move them from being I have no choice to yes, I have a choice right now?
I will actually challenge their, like I said, that irrational belief system. What makes you think that you have no choice? Okay, and then I will listen to that person. Then I don't know, maybe he says tak ada orang, and then no sales, no need. So again, I will ask, what do you think you can do about it? Because we don't tell people, we don't give advice. What we usually do is to make sure that they are aware. Again, empowerment or choices comes from trusting one's own sense of knowing, okay? And letting go of that irrational thoughts, that negative thoughts, and that feelings as if it's the truth. Okay? Itu yang saya kata tadi tu. False evidence, apa tadi as reality. Okay, I said that, then I forgot pula. False evidence as reality. So when you actually thought that that's going to be the truth, so what you need to do is basically to understand that you need to trust your own self, that you believe. So I remember when I was doing insurance kan, and also property. So we always nyanyi this lagu by Celine Dion, Power of Dreams, if I'm not mistaken, and also When You Believe. Because this kind of songs, I mean, I'm sorry, but this kind of songs help me, okay? Help me to momentarily realize that, hey, what am I having these thoughts, this negative thingy? Because if I want to be okay, I need to empower self. Again, the thing is it all begins from you, me. If it is to be, it is up to me. So if I choose to live in that condition, nobody can tell you what to do. So even if you tell to your children, yeah, okay, I have a 21-year-old son who doesn't know, I mean, he has a license, doesn't want to drive. He only take his P license, now MCO. We told him to go and renew. He's not going to do anything about it because I think he just, I don't know what happened. Probably he's in his cocoon, he's worried about his studies, he's worried about the virus. Okay, fair enough. So, but I have another one, 20 years old, who's very gung-ho. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do this. So whatever I tell my firstborn, it doesn't work if it doesn't come from within. So what happened was one day when his younger sister just got back from SPM and now doing matriculation. So what happened was when she is now, previously before MCO, she started driving, learning how to drive. Tak dapat license lagi. That's when the brother opened the eyes. Because I said, I have one extra car, an old car, but I'm not going to sell the car. So whoever wants to drive, you can have that car. So now he is empowered because he feels that, oh no, maybe because he felt that he's threatened in a way that he will not get to use the car in a way. So if it helps him to make that decision, to come out of that cocoon of comfort, yalah, because dia duduk dengan saya kan, or probably to that negative feeling that I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So, you know what I told him? I am glad that you finally realize that you want to do this for you. Not for mommy, not for daddy, not for your brothers, not for your sister, but for you. Because at the end of the day, you need to be independent. Okay? You need to be independent. I cannot be sending you, I cannot be giving you money for Grab and all that. So you need to learn how to be independent. Again, so that lack of self-confidence may be the ones that is actually, what do you call that? Pushing us behind, you know, and hiding in our own cocoon. So we need to get out. Okay, so if you ask me, my students always ask me, Dr. Azzi, how do you do it? I know you're tired at times. And then like on Saturday, I have that on that Friday night, I have talk sampai pukul 11. I have Malaysia SPM tu, Selamat Pagi Malaysia. I wasn't prepared. Okay, so I just do it because that's what Nike told me. Just do it. And Nike is the best friend to Adidas. Okay, like this morning, I told Yung King last night, Alamak Yung King, I'm actually very sleepy. I'm not prepared. I am just going to talk. Okay. From my own experience, I'm just going to share because I believe that Nike says, Azzi, just do it. And Nike and Adidas, they are rivals, but now they're best friends. That's what I assume. Nothing is impossible because I know I am possible. I can do it. Okay. And why this pushes me? Because I have that power of dreams. Honda. Okay. So I hope that helps.
Okay, I want to go down a little bit on a different route and switch gears a little bit just as we are about to end this session. I was brought to a lot of attention that a lot of our agents, some of them may have suffered some losses due to COVID-19 in terms of people or family members. Some of us might have family members who are now in certain conditions in the pandemic, and some of us, and I know some of them have lost from spouse to family members to good friends and all this in this pandemic. How would you advise us to support some of these people, or even how can they get self-empowerment through this journey of grief and difficulty?
Okay, it's actually very interesting when you ask this. I think on TV, I spoke about this girl who have lost, they have family of 8, family of 10, and then they ended up just, 8 of them, siblings. I forgot the name, I just mentioned the girl's name recently, and she has to, bear the responsibility of taking care of her family. So basically, I want to share with all of you that I know grieving will take a long time, because it's something that, when you lost something that you love, someone that you love, even things, or even your pets, okay, it can be anything. So you will be in this stage of what they call it, grieving stages. There's 5, sometimes they say 7, but I'm just going to focus on the 5 stages of grief. You need to understand that, yes, you can validate that feeling, but people around you need to also understand, people around these people needs to understand that grieving is a process. It's not just, okay, dad, mom is gone, so you need to back up. So it's not about that. The first stage that you will go through ialah denial stage, okay? So what is denial? It's actually the first 5 stages of grief. It helps you to actually survive, to help you to understand that you're actually going through loss. So the first stage that you feel is probably anger, ataupun denial, shock, really? I don't believe it. Okay, because it just does not make sense. In the morning, he was okay. Now that he's just gone. So you are actually in the state of shock. So probably what you experience is you go numb. So you wonder how this can actually happen. So that denial and shock in a way helps you to cope, to make that survival possible. Yeah. And you are becoming, it helps you in a way to momentarily moved or shift, okay, from that thinking that he's around or your family is around to that understanding that moment of loss. Okay, so this is basically you are actually being, like I said, when you are actually in denial stage is when you have a family member who had a healthy, probably when they left for that CAC, infected with COVID, it was okay, assuming that they'll come back more with a better health, but then things happen. So there were no time for you to say goodbye. Okay, so that's your in denial stage. The second stage that you need to understand. So we're not talking grieving just on death. Yeah, it could be losing jobs, not having money, so that's also grieving, yeah? So you're angry. How long more? How long more is this going to happen? Okay, so this is actually a necessary stage of healing process in grieving. So don't say, Jonathan, we can't say, janganlah marah. Ini takdir Tuhan. You can't say that. It's already fated. You can't say that because you need to be willing to allow them to feel that anger. Okay, even though it may seem endless, but the more they actually experience this, the more they truly feel this, the more they are actually on the healing process. So this is when you start asking God, why is God punishing me? Where is God? Why is me? So all this you're questioning. So then you'll be asking, why didn't I see this coming? Okay, for example, the question that we may have in mind, yeah? Why isn't our government doing more to help people? So what is actually happening? Okay, another way of probably expressing your anger is, this is going to hurt my business. Okay, and what am I going through? So you'll be very angry. And finally, the third stage is like when you start bargaining and rationalizing. Okay, so what is bargaining? What is rationalizing? Is when before a loss, that's when you start questioning God. If you can actually replace my family member back, I will promise you that I will not be upset with my mom anymore. I will not be arguing with my mom. I will not even be rude. Please, God. Okay, that's when you started saying this. And you will have this kind of statements like, what if? Okay, and you will be like, if only. This kind of questions will start playing in your mind. If only he is here, I will make sure that I will not be playing on my computer all the time. I'll be working. I will spend more time. Okay, if only they're here. So at this stage, okay, for example, like you, business leaders and entrepreneurs seek to make sense of what's happening. So you guys may want to talk about the impact, okay, what the business are actually, how it is actually affecting your business, rationalizing, because this is the part where you're bargaining. If you do not know how to actually get out of here, the next stage yang memang people will actually experience is despair and depression. Okay, despair and depression. So these empty feelings present in yourself ni akan menyebabkan you go into like an abyss. You see only darkness. Okay, and then depression after a loss is basically often seen as unnatural, a state that needs to be fixed. In situations where people like you, businesses, where leaders have limited control, and you know that these are actually affecting your agents, and it feels that everything you do is going against your plan. Okay, so this is when all of you might feel that state of despair or depression. Okay, so ini yang kita risaukan. So, and finally, once you have actually, because once you go through that depression, that despair, in a way it helps you heal because you realize that, hey, I need to accept this. Acceptance is basically the last stage that is often confused with the notion of being all right and okay. It's not necessarily that you're all right or you are okay, because you might be broken there. Okay, most people will not feel okay. Faham, So when we say all these positive words, acceptance and actions, most of you will not be okay because you have lost someone else. But that's when you realize that, okay, you need to embrace life as it is. You need to embrace the current situation. Okay, so you begin to live again, but you will not forget the memories that you have with whatever that has been left behind. Probably ada di antara kita yang terpaksa jual rumah untuk survive. Ada di antara kita jual kereta tak dapat bayar. Ada antara kita macam-macam. So these are the things that's really happening, the 5 stages. And the key stage ialah when you, like I said, okay, sorry. So the key stage ialah acceptance, and the most important thing ialah when these are the tips. I want to share the tips. View each situation that you encounter as a practice of patience. This is a little bit of spiritual, I'm sorry, faith. Okay, or perseverance. Whether you are stuck in a traffic jam or have lots of job to do, even now, that what I'm feeling, people always complain. Yeah, people always complain. Work from home is tiring. Work from home is tiring. I always tell them, did you know that our nurses and our doctors out there, because I have friends with doctors, they don't want to go home at times because they're so worried that their patients will die. So they will stay there. They only slept 3 to 4 hours and they work round the clock. So that's why they're having burnout. If only we realize, if only we know. So we always have to compare whatever the positions that we are in to those who are actually experiencing probably even worse life circumstances than us. So, but what I'm trying to say, you will go through all this, grieving, you have experienced loss. So the first step apa tadi? Ialah denial. The second one apa tadi? Denial, anger, bargaining, or rationalizing, despair, depression, and finally acceptance. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So the goal is to accept the situation through that process. And I'm assuming everyone's time frame in that process is different depending on that individual. It's
Yes.
different in terms of time frame, right? But the goal is to find a way to move forward from that 5 steps to come to acceptance and make peace with that situation, right?
Correct. So basically what you need to do, that you realize that these are all happening. So the next step is, how do you figure out how to proceed? And like you said, this is a process. Ada orang prosesnya very short. Some people, their process is longer. So it depends on the person itself. So that's why we need help. So do not be afraid to seek help. Okay?
Right. Thank you, Dr. Aziz. I'm going to leave you here for a few minutes. I'm going to make some announcements. Then I'm going to come back to you for some last thoughts. Okay. So, Yun Ching or Marcus, can I have the announcement, please? Right. I don't know how many of you are going through these challenging moments, but how many of you are learning something and really making something out of this session today? I really want to encourage you to express your gratitude to Dr. Aziz as she is taking her time off in a busy schedule to be with us, right? So moving forward, we have Mega Camp now. If you really want to put some mindset shift and be with the community of a global community where all the top producing agents around the world will be gathering here this month in August, for only $69 US, I will highly encourage you. Maybe this is that message that you come to this mega camp, that you'll be inspired and you be motivated to take some actions and be filling with yourself with some buckets of wisdom. I will encourage everyone to come to mega camp. We have, I think, close to 40-50 people sign up for mega camp already this year. So I will encourage you guys to please take advantage of this platform on a digital platform, and it's going to be a very good experience. Next slide, please. Okay, we are still going through with our winning the market sessions. Take note, on Thursday night. Next slide, please. We have managed to secure the time of Mark Olesh. Mark Olesh is from South Florida region, the regional director, which is going through a very tremendous growth in their business. We took us 1 year to secure his time, so he will be sharing with us this coming Thursday at 9 p.m. I highly encourage everyone to join these sessions, as we are bringing to you a lot of good quality speakers to come and support your business and the way you think, and giving you some perspective that is different from every angle, right? And we are going international as well. So please do join us this Thursday night. Next slide, please. Right. Just want to quickly shout out that last week we have 27 out of 46 spotlights. So every Monday, your listing will be featured if you choose to use your sub-sale listings and get them featured on the H prop. So it will be open to 80,000 agents, 80,000 subscribers of the particular pull out on the digital pull out. So do your best every Monday, secure the spotlights for yourself so that you are now ahead of the market. Right, it's very important, guys, that these are things that you can control, that you can choose to do to help you do better in your business. Next slide, please. Right, we are also doing the campaign of the featured credits. So the most agents that have done the featured listings will get 500 credits at the end of the period of the competition. Right, next slide, please. Right. We also have a new partnership with Etika from the Maybank Insurance for medical and health. We are able to secure a special deal with them over the SOC that we did last week. So please sign up. As low as 500 ringgit will give you medical coverage, including COVID-19 as well. So do sign up and check us out. This is a very good program that we sat down with Etika and we worked it through with them, and it's extended to your family members as well, especially your friends, your kids, your spouses, right? Please take advantage of this privilege that we have managed to secure for all our agents in our company. Okay, so please check this out. I think the links are all on Workplace. They're on the chat box. You can sign up and see how you get coverage and insurance for your agents, for your family, so that they are able to be covered and protected in these challenging times. Okay, next slide, please. Right, I want to congratulate everyone here. Thank you so much. In our White Flag initiative, we set a goal to raise 50,000 to support 250 families in our industry. And I want to congratulate everyone. You guys did it. You guys make that decision. You guys have collaborated together as one to raise more than 50,000. I want to congratulate you all and thank you all on behalf of all the families that you are all able to support, because you have decided to move and reach out and help people through the contribution. So congratulations, everyone. We are closing this campaign right now as we have hit our goal of 50,000. So thank you so much, guys, for being part of this in partnership with us to really go out there and make a difference in this very difficult time. You and I today have decided to do this, and we have made an impact. So if you think you can't do a lot of things, together we all could do this. So please be aware that you are able to do certain things also in this season of darkness, that you still can make the impact by being part of this initiative as a group, right? So that's a power with together, we can do together this together, right? So thank you so much, everyone. Next slide, please. Right, so continue to send out the messages out. Please share with your clients as well. We're going to have a new message to share with clients to thank them for contributing to this fund, as well as our 2021 mid-year highlights video. It's a very good touch point to share with your friends, with your clients about the achievement that you have done, because this will help you showcase that you are still in the business, that you are still aggressively there, and that you're still around and you're not given up. So please share that video out to many people as you can via WhatsApp or on your Facebook, because it is a significant declaration to people that you guys are still alive and you're still around and still kicking it and you're still making things happen, right? So make that declaration today that you have decided that you choose to win. Okay, next slide, please. Right, so Dr. Aziz, what is your last thoughts for us? What are some of your last advice for us before we part ways today? What is your last advice for all of us to really work on self-empowerment?
Okay, thank you so much, Jonathan. So I think I've said so much, but I just would like to inform all of you that don't ever think that other people have the power to make you feel certain emotions. Okay, no one can make you feel anything actually. So other people may influence how you feel, but you are the only one in charge of your emotions. So basically what you need to do is develop an awareness and basically understanding your own emotions. It can be complicated, but you need to be able to recognize, you need to be able to tolerate and regulate your emotions so that you can actually understand, and hopefully it will improvise. So increased emotional self-awareness is basically the key to achieving self-empowerment. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aziz, for doing this. Thank you for going out there and sharing this message to the entire population in this country. I think voices like you, your voices like that you bring, and the message that you bring really impact all our lives. So thank you so much. Keep doing that. And if we can support you in any way, just let us know. Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Aziz.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Okay. Thank you, everyone else. Have a good one. Hope this has been a kickstart for a good kickstart for this week and this month for everyone. So see you guys in the next session. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.